Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture, we are going to go over possessive pronouns. So some of you may be asking yourselves, what are possessive pronouns? Possessive pronouns are words like whose, mine, yours, hers, his, ours, yours, or theirs that indicate possession of a noun. And as you already remember from our lecture on the possessive pronoun my, most Russian possessive pronouns must match the noun they modify in gender, case, and number. And again, because this can be kind of confusing to a lot of English speakers, the important thing is the gender of the noun being possessed, not the possessor. So if I say, for example, "Это мой учебник," this is my textbook, it doesn't matter whether I, the speaker, am a man or a woman. What matters is the fact that учебник, textbook, is grammatically masculine, and therefore mой, mine, also has to be grammatically masculine. However, there is a huge exception to this rule, and that is the third person, so his, hers, or theirs. In the third person, you indicate the gender and number of the possessor, not the noun being possessed. So to jump ahead of ourselves a little bit, you could say, "Это ее учебник," this is her textbook, and you would indicate the gender of the possessor, her, rather than that of the textbook. Or "Это его учебник," this is his textbook. What matters is that it is his, and he is masculine, not the gender of the noun учебник. And so here on this third slide, we have a table with the singular possessive pronouns in the nominative. So these are the possessive pronouns that refer to one person. One person is doing the possession. And those would be whose, mine, yours singular, and his or hers. And then the interrogative in the first and second person come in 4 different forms: masculine, neuter, feminine, and plural. So we see here че, чё, ча, чи for whose, мой, моё, моя, мои for mine, твой, твоё, твоя, твои for yours singular. And then we get into the third person, and that does not change. Его is his, and it always is его, regardless of what it's referring to. In the third person, remember, the important thing is the gender of the possessor, not the thing possessed. In all the other persons, the important thing is the gender of the thing being possessed, not the possessor. So we would always say его for his or its, and we would always say ее for hers. Note in all of these, the stress on the end. So we have мой and then моё, моя, мои, твой, твоё, твоя, твои, and then его, ее. And these endings are basically adjective endings, but they are stressed on the end. So you want to keep that in mind. It's моё, моя, мои. And then finally, we have plural possessive pronouns, meaning possessive pronouns where the possessors are multiple people. It's a group of people. So ours, yours plural, and then theirs. And once again, first and second person are going to have endings. So we have nаш, наша, наша, наши for ours, and ваш, ваша, ваша, ваши for yours. But then ich for theirs. And note for nаш and vash, ours and yours, we see both the 5 and the 7-letter spelling rule come into effect. So these are stem stressed. The stress is always on that first a, nаш, vash. But in the neuter form, we have yeah, not yo or o, but yeah after the sh, because it is unstressed. So we have naše, vaše. And it's just going to be pronounced kind of naša, vaša. And then in the plural, we have e after sh, because remember we can't write ui. So we're going to write nash, e, vash, e. But we are going to pronounce that as hard as ui, because sh is always hard. So we're going to say nashi vashi, but we write nash-i, vash-i. And so there you have possessive pronouns. Hopefully that makes some amount of sense. Once again, the best thing is always to expose yourself to as much Russian as you can and see them being used in their natural habitat.